Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my July favorites. This month a lot of new discoveries, gorgeous things, but also a few fails, and actually more fails than I've had in a long time. So let's get immediately started. I've been waking up at 6 a.m. every morning and snoozing sometimes, and that meant that I had to do my makeup to go to work in like 10 minutes and get out of the door. My best ally in that has been this MAC Pro Longwear paint pot in groundwork, and I have to thank my friends at Begals and Dolls over on Instagram. I'll leave their name down here. They sent it over to me because they were using it, and I love this. It is great to just pop on the lid, blend out. I wear makeup on my eyes mainly to correct my hood. Next great discovery of the month is of course the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I did a review swatches. I found dupes for the shades in the palette, but nevertheless I've been using it like crazy. In my review I mentioned how my palette came without the little card, and even though I had contacted customer service about it and they said they'd send it, I didn't receive it, and that was after I think 1 or 2 weeks. Well, it just showed up this week after, I don't know, almost a month by now, in my mail. So I finally have the name of the shades. Fun. I'll link the video with all my dupes and my review down below, and you can also download this card from a file on there as well. So that is definitely a favorite. I've used it non-stop at the beginning of the month, and to be honest, if I didn't have so much makeup that I had to try, I probably wouldn't use anything else. So if you're doubting whether you should get it or not and you don't have a super extensive collection, definitely get it. It will serve all of your needs. The only thing, it's already super dirty, but what can you do about it? Another incredibly gorgeous release was the Nabla Freedomination collection, and from this I have a review and swatches again on my channel, but my 2 favorite eyeshadows by far are Absinthe and On the Road, for 2 completely different reasons. So Absinthe is a super glittery, fantastic duochrome shade. It has a lilac base with a very strong light blue reflex and glitters on top. I have a really good video of it on my Instagram that I posted up. When it's out of focus, you really see the amount of glitters that is in there. And On the Road instead is a very elegant everyday shade that you can use at work, that you can use on more mature skin because it's a satin and not a shimmer. I really love it. I've done a lot of looks with this during the month, and I've really loved this. From the same collection, I also adore Goa, the Diva Crime lipsticks that I picked up from the collection. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous warm brown with enough red not to be a flat brown, and a antique rose type of metallic sheen on top. And it's not overly metallic where you look a little bit crazy or you're only good for an Instagram picture, but you can actually wear it out and it looks gorgeous. These last a very long time, especially the metallic formula, and I really love this lipstick. More from this collection, because Nabla seems to not do anything wrong, only when it comes to products. If you want to know more about my customer service experience, I'll link somewhere here my blog post on it. It was really annoying. Anyways, product-wise, also from Freedomination collection, their highlighter Obsexed. It's what I am wearing right now. It has this peachy pink shift that makes it very unusual, and as I mentioned in my review of the collection, these highlighters, especially these 3, this is Angel and I don't really like it because it's chunky, but especially these 3 really give you a glow that is not obvious, it's not Instagram-y, it's not a stripe, it blends well, it's really refined. I really like it. Then, keeping it in this palette, I have been obsessed with bronzers lately. I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe because I have a little bit of a tan, but I usually contour my cheekbones. But this past month, I didn't, and I bronzed like a crazy person. One of my favorites is this shade here. This is Saint-Tropez. This is their bronzing shade. I also have a contour shade from them, but I've been especially obsessed with the bronzer. And the other discovery of the month is another bronzer, and I'm extremely late to the party with this, and it's the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. Where was this my whole life? I don't know. It smells like, I don't know, the beach with fragrance. And it's extremely smooth, extremely blendable. It's not powdery, as you can see. It doesn't even look like the powder would come off, but the shade is just so universal, and it's very subtle. Both of these bronzers don't look like you actually applied color to your skin, so definitely a favorite, this one as well. And to apply bronzer, I've had a lot of trouble finding the right brush because I was using the e.l.f. stippling brush and it would just open up too far and kind of bronze like my whole cheek, and that is not the idea. So what I've been using lately is this small tapered brush by e.l.f., which is called the highlighting brush, and I've just been really liking it. It is really soft, it blends out bronzer really well. I wouldn't use it for highlighter. Look at how big it is compared to my cheekbones. Then again, I have small cheekbones maybe, but definitely loving this brush. Staying with brushes, another thing that, where has it been my whole life? It's the Real Techniques blush brush. And now this is a serious huge brush. Look at that. It's absolutely gigantic. But it's very tapered and it's perfect to actually blend in the blush very, very subtly. It picks up my powders well, it picks up my Colourpop Super Shock cheek well. Just overall a great blush brush. Very happy it finally is at home with me. Finally, we are on to the lips, and I've been kind of done with matte liquid lipsticks, and it's been a while. I mean, I've had my obsession now with the lippy sticks instead of the ultra mattes from Colourpop, and I find myself a bit sad not using all my ultra mattes, especially because some of the colors are absolutely my favorites. So what I've been doing is actually layering an ultra matte liquid lipstick with a ultra glossy liquid lipstick, also from Colourpop. And these are actually pretty much the only glosses I wear because they're very inexpensive. They're very pigmented, glossy, but not sticky. I actually really love the formula. I was stuck back to the glosses I was using in middle school that were like super sticky and you'd get all your hair in it and just horrible. These are absolutely gorgeous, and my two favorites are for sure KT from the Hello Kitty collection, which is a beautiful glittery gold gloss, and Cheat Code, which instead is an incredible metallic gloss. Again, wore it today at work before filming this, and it stayed on all day. I had to take it off after lunch only because I had a salad and it was all a little bit moving, but absolutely loving the ultra glossy lips on top of the ultra mattes. And that was actually all for my favorites. I went through that quite quickly. Now, time for the fails. I usually don't have these. It's not a routine in my favorites videos, but this month I was just so disappointed. Let's start with the easy ones. This is what happened to my Maybelline The Falsies Push-Up Angel. And no, this is not how it's supposed to look. The stopper got stuck there a few times. I managed to put it back in, and now I just can't even put it back in anymore. This is how it is. I'm gonna trash it, but this shouldn't happen. I've had it for, I don't know, maybe a month, and I don't use it that often either. So yeah, just not good. Unfortunately, it goes in the trash. Next fail that I was so disappointed by and so sad about also are the ordinary foundations. I bought the full coverage one and the serum foundation. I wanted to try both formulas, and unfortunately neither worked on my skin. The serum foundation I tried at the beginning of June, I believe, and I wanted to have a light coverage foundation that let my skin peek through and breathe. But what I obtained with this was just a watery layer that barely covered anything and just would seep into my lines and pores and just look yuck. Then I said, well, I'm gonna give the full coverage foundation a go, because this was supposed to be maybe more for combination than normal skin, and this was more for dry skin maybe. And this was even worse. This had the same behavior of settling in my pores and around my nose, and way more coverage, so it ended up being even more obvious. It was just clearly sitting on top of the skin and breaking down at every little moment of oiliness of my skin. And I'm not talking 6 hours later, because I mean that happens. I'm talking that within 2 hours this was all completely broken down around my nose. Just not good. I'll insert a clip of me wearing it if I can find that clip, because I know I recorded it because I was so shocked by it. Last fail of the month, which with a little bit of an upkick, is the Max Studio Fix powder. So what happened with this is I was hunting for a good powder foundation that would do everything for me. Add coverage, mattify, keep me happy all day. And of course I went to MAC because this powder foundation is very famous. I got the shade NC25, all fine. Go to wear it as a foundation, so I applied it with a, let's say, kind of stiff brush like this one from Real Techniques. And what happened within the end of the day was I was full of these little bumps, and I panicked. I was like, what is it? What is it? Is my skin reacting? Yes, of course. Then I remember that years ago I tried the MAC Face and Body Foundation. Most gorgeous finish. I had in the summer. I loved it. Couldn't have it on for one day because all of these little bumps came up. So there must be something in here that makes my skin react to it. Unfortunately, I am very sad about it. However, I found a way to use it. So if I use a BB cream or concealer first before I apply this powder, I can actually pull it off. And especially, I do not apply it as a foundation all over and packing it on, but I use this big fluffy powder brush by Real Techniques, also recent discovery for me. I know I was living under a stone, but it is extremely soft, so it applies a very small amount of powder. So I use this as a setting powder to add a little bit of coverage, not too much, and it works fine. I managed not to have it break my skin out, so I'm happy because, yeah, it's a purchase that I didn't want to throw away only because I reacted to it. And that was all for my favorites and fails of July. I have a lot of videos that I want to film. I am working on duping the Anastasia Subculture palette, and I have a few shades that I still need to pinpoint down, but I think at least I have a few of the nicer ones nailed. So I'm very happy about that. Working on that currently, and that might be upcoming videos. And I am working on a giveaway for you guys to, you know, celebrate the end of summer, celebrate just you guys being here with me. So keep your eyes out for that. It will be coming soon. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.